democracy is existing, but legitimacy is also eroding in most of West African, most of our West African countries. The people are saying, okay, we are voting, we are patriotic, but then they do not feel represented. The people are saying that, okay, we have a government, and the government says it is functioning, but then we are not feeling the impact of this said functioning or supposed functioning government. We are not feeling protected. What is going on? That's where you begin to say, okay, what? And when you have soldiers come out and say, we are taking over to restore order, that's where you can give it to the worrying section of the population, of the masses, that are happy about such coup. Nobody is really excited about coup, but when you see people start clapping hands for coup, then you know that something is going on. When you see people are not, immediately rejecting a coup, you know that something rather is going on. There's this silence, there's this quiet approval, and most of those things will give those coup oxygen, and they will want to move further and say, okay, we are doing the right thing, in as much as we understand that coup is not the way to go. So in Benin's case, particularly, I feel it tells us that there is an underlying problem, just like you mentioned. Yes, everybody said Benin is because I have known Benin to be a very quiet country. Although if you go to Benin, you know that some things are not going well. Is it the high cost of things? So many economical downturns too. You have so many cases of such things, and so many others we in the country may not know. So I feel like there's the country is in a fragile state, and that fragile state is beginning to spread beyond people's minds, and they are bringing it outside. People are no longer feeling safe, and that is why people are coming out to say, okay, we support this coup somehow. And I feel like this is the most uncomfortable conversation around this, is because is the fact that democracy doesn't just end when people say, because I'm trying to talk about this civilian complicity in democracy erosion. Democracy doesn't just collapse when people say, okay, we have soldiers come pull the triggers or come take over. It collapses slowly when we do not have a functioning government. That's what people should understand. When our electoral commissions are not working, when the constitutional amendments are not made, it is very familiar with African countries that we do not most times amend constitutions. And even when we do, I don't know how many times we do abide with laws. So there's so many I just feel like most West African states are very fragile. Even if it was not in the news, we heard similar thing wanted to happen in Nigeria. I cannot say much on that because it wasn't really in the news. But then we've seen these cases in Niger. We've seen it in Burkina Faso. What is happening to West African states? What is happening to countries in Africa? What is going on? What is the government doing? What are they doing right, and what are they getting wrong?
So I think there's a level of consciousness and awareness that's now hitting many of the citizens across these African countries, just like you've pointed. There's this level of civic awareness. They now know that, things shouldn't be done this way. If you look at many African countries, there's been a long stance of leadership. Just seen a leader rule a country over 10 years for what? And so people are going to realize, young people are going to realize that, it shouldn't be the case. If you say it's a democratic country, people need to be elected in. Other people need to try out things. Other people need to experience the government. Why is the government situated in one place? Look at what's happening in Tanzania. Look at the people that... What's her name again? I can't remember her name, but as soon as I remember...
Suluhu.
Yes, Suluhu, Madam Suluhu. See, they are appointees. Relatives, family members, close associates, friends. Those are the people who are controlling major ministries, controlling major power seats. And so do you think that people in Tanzania, for instance, are going to be excited? And tomorrow we'll wake up to hear there's a coup in Tanzania, for instance, and you're surprised. So something triggers coup.
Yes.
I do not believe that coups just happen. It may not happen because you're powerful enough in government to, fix the problem, to squash things out. But that doesn't mean that your people are happy. It's like being in a toxic relationship. It's like women who get married to men who beat them up or are very violent to them. Sometimes they endure that relationship and they have very strange reasons. Some say for their children's sake. For some economic reason, they do not have the power. But watch that same woman the moment she is able to bounce out. The moment she's able to lay her hand on economic power, she has finance, she has something else that can start going for her. She would hit that man, try to revenge, and move away. She'll push back. So take take the African scenario as that case. Many of these countries are in a toxic relationship with their leadership. And they're only enduring because they have no options. The moment they are able to gather momentum or find a better option, they would bounce back. And that bounce back means military, means a coup, means a takeover, means violent protest, means peaceful protest, however they want to define their bounce back. What are we saying? There is a high level of moral decadence in our governance system. And until that is fixed, expect many people to start prepping ahead. In fact, the generation that would even take over a lot of things, they are doing press up. They are just watching from afar. Some of them are in JS1. Some are in primary school. And you think they're not conversant with what's happening. They are hearing the stories, they are picking up. And they are learning. They are learning to not make the mistakes that this is a fail at a coup in Benin. Do you think that there's going to be another coup that it will be failed? Obviously it won't. And so rather than us trying to, if I do not even think, Cynthia, that if a country is working well, anybody will think of a coup. I do not think. I remember when my father told me about the coup in Nigeria then, and he was so excited about how there was so much order in Nigeria, how no matter how late you came to anywhere, you must follow the queue. You don't jump queue. There was so much orderliness. You do not dump on the road. And so these were things that they missed in the other form of governance when Nigeria was not. Now that we are doing democracy, you see people eat and trash anywhere. People jump queues. People do whatever they want to do. People hike prices of things. So democracy is sweet though, but you see the effects. So everybody can do anything, whether you're a leader or not. There's almost no consequence to issues. The wrong people are in prison. There's so much that is going wrong. Since I do not even exhaust this conversation today because of time, it looks like we may not exhaust it. But I want us to look at some of the, tweets from our social media space for now. Okay, we have one from Harmless. And this person says, you nearly invaded Niger for war. Now you are dropping bombs in Cotonou. You are not after the coup plotters, you are after the resources in Benin. Oh, Nigeria is now after resources too. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, it's from Sizu. African politicians have turned democracy into a complete scam, cheating their people 247. Moving forward, any military coup in Africa that removes an incompetent criminal president and his entire cabinet from power is highly welcome. Long may this trend continue. Okay. You can destroy coup plotters in Benin, but you don't want Trump to destroy terrorists in Nigeria. And that was a very funny one to me, because it's like, okay. But let's see what Neferiti said. She said, Vanguard is reporting that Nigeria, that's a newspaper, is reporting that Nigeria Air Force has carried out airstrikes inside of Benin Republic. So the president can afford rockets, bombs, and missiles against coup plotters, but Nigeria cannot afford targeted airstrikes against ISWAP, killer headsmen, and the Boko Haram. So these are the frustrations I see many Nigerians are having to deal with. There are too many questions to ask. Too many. We're still having conversations and going into meetings with Donald Trump and team about coming to Nigeria to save Nigeria. First of all, I'm not against the fact that the president responded swiftly to this. Oh, it's good to respond because it brings back the stability. Exactly. But I think people are just concerned that was a swift response. We understand that you are the chairman of ECOWAS. We get it. But then you can
give this quick response to a whole country, and I still repeat and emphasize a whole country. I mean, I know we are that big brother. That's our position in this case, stabilizer, big brother, stabilizers, you know, guarantor of order and peace. But then we're seeing Nigeria acted in so many ways, you know, offering peace treaties and interventions in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in so many other countries. But then our country, Nigeria, is in need of such intervention. And then we see the US saying they want to come and help us intervene, and then we are against it. And yet we cannot defend ourselves. And every now and then when we wake up, we hear, in short, people cannot sleep, not when we wake up. Before we put our eyes closed, we have heard of one adoption or the other, one killings here and there of the other, one farm, one village, one this attacked, and attacked rather. And I mean, it only leaves the people with different questions. People will begin to ask questions like people are already asking. Are we defending democracy, or we are defending governments? Is it what we are doing at this point in time? I really want to understand, because military deployment can stop a coup. That one is for sure. But is it going to stop the underlying issue that caused the coup? That's the question there, and that's a very big question. Is it going to, you know, those underlying grievances that remain unresolved, those things that people are worried about, the intervention needs to pause. Nigeria needs to pause. This is not this. Come and find solution for your own country first, because we cannot have all these repeated interventions, and yet some of these things will keep happening. All of these anomalies in the society will keep going on, that will push the people to another coup. Because I mean, just like Chinato have said, I think I perceive another coup. I do not think this is the end, because people are not yet tired of being angry. People are still angry, and the way I'm seeing with the way coup has been, just what I think.
We need a working system, and our leaders must hear us. I think that's my take home, and I would like us to continue this conversation tomorrow. However, our viewers, we want to hear from you. What do you think about this? Is not the first coup happening. There's been a lot of coup across the African region, especially West Africa, and you're just wondering why. What is triggering this? Do you have a solution? Do you think there's something that the government can do differently? Cynthia said one, we need a working system. What other things can we do together with working system to ensure that we have a stable democracy, we have a good economy, we have a country or a region or even a continent where people can come in and invest and feel safe and secure? We want to be that part of the world as well. But we cannot, with all of these insecurity issues, with all of this, you know, unstable economy here and there. It's just sad. But here we are. So use the hashtag #IdeaWestAfrica and tell us what you think. And if you'd also like to come up here, come to our studio and have the conversation with us. We want to really hear from you. Since I don't know if that was your last thoughts.
Yeah, I just feel, I think it's
because you're continuing.
Yes, I think it still goes back to what I have, you know, said, that we should just stop. We should just treat the problem, and I think there are some democratic loopholes. If not, people will turn to whatever alternative they see, just like this coup.
So tomorrow we'll look at the solutions and what we can do better, while also following the story. So trust us to keep you up to speed. But in the meantime, follow us across the different social media platforms and comment. Share your thoughts with us. It's bye for now. My name is Chinatu Oji, and I've been with
Cynthia Bazi.